2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's episode down below. What did y'all think? Did y'all like it? Let me know. Hold on. Okay, look. First of all, the promo for tomorrow's episode. Who is that punching Drew? Is that Michael? Cause y'all know they said this week. Let me move the phone. Y'all know they said this week that Drew's supposed to manipulate Michael or whatever. I said that's what it is. That's what it is. I was like, we've been waiting on this. I said it's about doggone time, but at the same time, it's not. It's not. He like to sit up here and have people arrested. I said, you don't walk into his trap, Michael. I said, look, we've been waiting on this. Because every time he confronted him, even when he found out about the kisses and stuff, he didn't do nothing. He just walked away. And I was like, hit him. I said, hit him. And now he finna hit him. And I said, he like to have people arrested. What he gonna do? Say, if you don't let Willow see her kids or get her kids back, I'm gonna have you arrested? Look, I don't know, y'all. Hold on, let me move this out the way. My phone about to go dead. Let me plug it up. There you go. Hold on. But yeah, we've been waiting on this for a long time. What has been a year, over a year since all this began? And I said, yeah, I want to know, is he gonna say something crazy to him, or is he gonna come in after the whole conversation between Molly and Drew? But yeah, okay. So in today's episode, we're gonna start with Jordan and Anna. So with them, when they first showed Jordan opening the door, I said, that better not be Curtis. I said, that better not be Curtis. You need to stay out her face. And it wasn't. It was Anna. I was like, oof. But then they showed him going over there. I said, now why would you take your tail over there? Your wife has a problem with this lady. Your wife got a problem with this lady. Why would you take your tail up over here? That don't make sense. But yeah, Anna ended up stopping by to see Jordan new plays. They were just talking about Sewell, and she was just saying, you know, she enjoyed her job or whatever. And Anna was questioning whether or not she'll be able to turn over information if she was to find something crooked about Sewell. Because she keep on saying how she hasn't found anything. And Anna reminded her, you know, he was trying to murder me and, you know, Jason them or whatever. And I was like, right, they keep making it seem like this man legit and he's not crooked. He's not doing anything or whatever. Just because you haven't found anything doesn't mean he ain't crooked. And I sure been waiting. I've been waiting on them to find out something about him as well. We know he been plotting. We know that he's the one responsible for Charlie's fire and stuff like that. We don't know if he was responsible for Michael, the situation with Michael. I think we kind of feel like he is, but at the same time, we don't know until they actually say it. But yeah, she is right. We haven't seen nothing. We have had confirmation about the whole Charlie's thing, but aside from that, I don't know. Who was that told her? Was it Laura? Yeah, it was Laura. Remember when Laura was saying something about maybe the reason why you haven't found anything is because, you know, he's onto you. And I was wondering that. I was like, okay, why wouldn't he suspect anything? You was working for Laura first, then you quit all of a sudden. And not only that, who else? The Isaiah situation. And I was like, I think he onto her. I think he know. I think he knew from the beginning, but I could be wrong. Because also, then they show, when they first showed Sewell coming to town and he wanted a meeting with somebody. Was it Laura? I don't know. Wasn't he looking over there at Jordan? Didn't he ask who she was? So didn't he know? Like, I don't know, y'all. But yeah, okay, next we got Isaiah, Curtis, Portia. So Portia and Isaiah was just talking and stuff like that. Curtis ended up stopping by to see her. And he was just back there watching. I said, you better not say nothing. I said, you better not say nothing. You sit there and mind your business. No, he didn't mind his business. He didn't tell that he seen them together, but he implied something. And I want to know if he's starting to catch feelings for her. But yeah, Isaiah was back there watching Curtis with Portia. Curtis ends up inviting Portia out for dinner or whatever. What else? Stella was trying to play matchmaker with Trina and Kai, but Trina's still not ready to forgive, y'all. What else? Let's see. Drew ends up telling Kai how he wants to focus on moving to DC permanently and stuff like that. I said, why are you in a rush now? Talking about something he concerned about Scout. We ain't never been concerned about this girl in a long time. And Kai was like, I spent time with you. I spent time with Scout and stuff like that. So I know that she loves her grandmama and she loves her aunts and her brothers and stuff like that. Wouldn't the best thing be to stay here? He's like, I appreciate that. And I like that, you know, you've been spending time and, you know, just getting to know us. All this other extra stuff. Just to say, you know, the best thing for right now is to move to DC. And I said, why? Then he ends up mentioning, you know, the fact that Lex trying to get custody and stuff. And I said, how he knew? Like, did she say that yesterday? I can't remember if she actually said that. I was like, who told him? Now, I know she talked to Molly or whatever, but she obviously didn't tell her. She didn't even know what happened, apparently. She over here trying to make peace with him and stuff. Excuse me. But yeah, let's see. What else? I already said Stella was trying to play matchmaker. Drew wants to focus on moving to DC. Ezra. Who was that? who was it talking about harassment? 88 Turner. 88 Turner mentioned to Sonny something about, filing charges if he sent a gift, because that's illegal. You can't do that. You can't send her a gift. She already told him that she had to file charges about harassment. And I said, if anybody need to file charges for harassment, Laura need to file against Ezra. I don't know if that's allowed or what, but he do too much. He follow her too much. He act like he got her bud, or what's it called, a tracker or something. Everywhere she at, he pop up, and he always got the doggone phone recording and stuff. I said, at this point, Laura, you need to file charges, because he is harassing. I said, if anybody needs to bring up charges, it's Laura. Because this man do way too much. Way too much. Then I bet he get it up there and be a mayor. He ain't going to do dilly freaking squat either. But yeah, let me see what else. Ezra and Laura was meeting up and they was talking. And he said something. He was waiting on her to get voted out for something. Something they was talking about. I don't know, y'all. But he ended up coming back later in the episode. 88 Turner ends up talking to Molly. She said somebody sent her a gift or whatever. I think it was some type of spa gift or whatever. And she said she think it was Sonny. And they was just talking about that. Dante wants to pull footage of Willow near, the place, because they was talking about whether or not she was the one who got Daisy and stuff like that. So he was like, if he could find her vehicle going, into a certain direction or whatever, he could prove it. And Michael was asking, would they be able to hold up in court? Brooklyn ends up coming in at the end of the conversation, and she wanted to know why he won't Willow see the kids, and he was like, because she's not stable. And my thing about this is Chase. Now, Chase, yesterday you told Danny how he can't be doing stuff like this, or he'll get in trouble, and you gave him a warning how old he is, but you over here telling Willow that she did the right thing, and you understand. I mean, he did say, legally and stuff like that, you can't be running around, punching people or slapping people and stuff like that. Hey, how you doing today? He did tell her that, but at the same time, I feel like you need to, if you the one person, like she was saying, like he see her for who she is and all this other stuff, that don't mean you can't tell her that she need to chill out. That don't mean you can't tell her she need to get some help. If anything, wouldn't you want to encourage her to do what she need to do, heal like they told her to do, so she can get her kids back? You telling her like everything's okay and they wrong for this and they wrong for that, and you should be able to see your kids and all this other stuff. Yeah, she should be able to see her kids. But they keep telling her she would be able to see her kids if she stopped doing that crazy stuff and stop meeting up with Drew. But yeah, hold on. But yeah, I want to know if he's still going to be trying to get Willow to go to DC, because he been studying talking about, moving there permanently and stuff like that. I don't know if he just spreading that around town so people can actually believe it or what, but we'll see. There's no way that Trina is going to go back to Kai after what he did. Not going to happen. Y'all don't think he going to go back? I mean, she going to go back to him? I think eventually. Especially, look like on tomorrow's episode, Trina's supposed to be talking to Portia about, what they keep it from her and what else happened and stuff like that. Do y'all think that's going to change her mind? Let me know. But yeah, let's see where I stop at. I already talked about Dante wanting to pull footage of Willow near their place. Brooklyn was questioning Michael about his decision to not let Willow see the kids. Chase ends up running into Willow, and he was asking if he could do anything. They were just talking about her situation and how she slapped Lucas, and he was like, that's not you, and she was like, you the one person that sees that that's not me, or whatever. I said, well, technically, they've been telling you that this isn't you. They've been telling you how Drew got you thinking this way, and you said Drew done, influence her, and Drew the reason why you lost your kids and all this other stuff, but you can't consider what they saying to be true. But yeah, what else? What else did they talk about? They started talking about, he told her that him and Brooklyn supposed to be trying to adopt, and she wants to put it off, because she want to focus on Gio and how he feel about it and stuff like that. I said, that's how they be slipping up. You don't invite nobody into your doggone marriage and your problems and what you got going on or anything like that. Then next thing you know, if Brooklyn was to tell her something about the kids, even though she was vouching for her, but I'm just giving y'all a perspective, an example or whatever. If they was to get into it about the whole Michael custody situation, she'd be like, you want to get your husband, though? You want to adopt with your husband, so you want to talk? That's how stuff be getting used against folks, y'all. Just like Curtis over here in Jordan face after Portia done made it clear how she feel. Done made it clear. Come on now. Let's see. What else? Trina and Stella end up talking. Trina tells Stella, what happened and why she mad. And she's like, I understand why you mad now or whatever, because he went back on his word and loyalty this and loyalty that. But she still feel like, Kai was just doing what he thought was best for somebody he thought he could trust. And he still ain't learned. Still out here. I ain't going to say kissing this, but I'm not going to say that. But he still hasn't learned who he is. What time is it, y'all? Let me make sure I'm not going over to, let's see, 3:01. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah, they was just talking about that. Donna ends up coming by the pool. I think she had swim lessons. She wanted Gio to play at her birthday, but he was saying how he don't have the violin no more because y'all know he don't threw it and beat it. He don't turn it into tiny little pieces. That's what he done did. They just talk about the party. He ended up talking to Sonny as well as Michael about going because it would be awkward because he knows that Brooklyn and Dante gonna be there, and he's still not ready to forgive and move forward yet. He still feels the same way. That's what he say. And Dante and Brooklyn was talking about doing something. Dante wants to do something because obviously giving him space to heal is not working. She was telling Dante that he should be the one to do it because he hate her, he don't like her, and he didn't know that he had a child. And they were just talking about that, and I think they agreed to do it together. I said, Chase, get in between this right now for an affair happen again. It's been a while since somebody had an affair, ain't it? But yeah, let me see. What else? Brooklyn don't think that space is helping Gio heal. We already said that. Chase asked if Lucas did something to provoke Willow, and they was just talking about that. Kai was concerned for Scout. I said even he knows Scout love and miss her family. Turner said it's inappropriate that Sonny sent the items. Isaiah, old messy self. He's so messy self. He gonna sit up here. Portia was talking about, how good things going between her and Curtis, how they working things out. He's talking about, okay, so where does Jordan fit in and all this? And she was mad about it. And he was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that or whatever. And she said, Jordan's not a factor. That's when they show Curtis over here at her door. Over here at her door and store. I said, dude, why these people... He just at the door. He go in. She talking about she want him to, look over every inch of it. I said, we still talking now. I'm not gonna crack the joke. Hey, how you doing today? But yeah, she talking about she want him to inspect every inch of it, and they looked at each other, and I said, don't y'all get no ideas. Y'all stick to it and get in and get on up out of there. Excuse me. And I said, the best way that this could work for Curtis, you go to the hospital or home and you tell your wife everything. You tell that you saw her in the park. You tell that you went to her house. She gonna be upset, but at least she know coming from you. At least she know coming from you. But what else? Let's see. Let's see. Lord done went over there where Sonny was. He didn't go over there where she was because she was with Ezra at first. He went and sat at the bar. I think that's what that's called. So she took her tail over there, and I was like, she don't care, do she? I said, now, if they trying to get rid of you because you attached to Sonny, why you keep going in his face? Then here come Anna, and I said, these people don't learn. But yeah, Sonny was saying, he was trying to warn her, and she was like, I don't care who see me. I said, that's clear as day. I said, we see that. You don't care. Just hand over the little mayor position to this crazy dude, Ezra. Because it's too much at this point. He started following you and stuff. I said, file charges against him. Can they do that? She should be able to do that, right? But yeah, what else? Let's see. Laura ends up asking if it's true about Marco, and he basically didn't answer the question. He answered the question, but he didn't directly answer the question. Curtis said that Michael helped him with Portia, giving him advice about saving his marriage, and he was grateful for that. He ends up saying to Michael that him and Drew called the truth, and he was like, you sure it's not a trap? He's like, I'm treading lightly. Not lightly enough. He already over here trying to have your doggone auntie investigated. But nobody told her to do whatever she done did. But yeah, she don't sit up here, we assuming, falsify insurance documents. I said, oh, y'all got, look, Portia, his wife and his auntie going to jail. Hold on. I said, if Drew do go, he going to do so much damage before he leave. Let's see what else. Let's see. Jordan said she liked her job, hasn't found anything on Sewell. We talked about that. Anna reminds Jordan that Sewell's dangerous. Chase talks to Willow about adopting. Brooklyn don't think that Gio will ever forgive her. I think Ezra was asking Drew why he's so focused on, taking down Sonny. And he was like, because Sonny and Jason have never paid for their crimes, and it's about time that they do. And I said, you need to be right along with them. You need to be right there with them. Let's see what else. Stella ends up encouraging Kai to try harder because he came over there and tried to sit down with Trina and Stella. Well, she invited him to sit down. And Trina she got up to leave, but she went over there by the pool, and she was talking about she was focusing on the book. Excuse me. She was focusing on reading the book. But then she got up to leave again when he went over there. But she did turn back around, so I don't know. Maybe there's hope, maybe not. What else? Let's see. We already talked about Drew. Stella. Curtis took his tail to Jordan's place. Oh, Michael was encouraging Gio to deal with his anger in regards to his parents, and he was like, I am dealing with it, whatever. I said, he definitely seemed like he a little mini Sonny. He got a little temper too, don't he? But I do like when he be like grandpa. He be calling Sonny grandpa or whatever. Let's see. Um, Anna and Laura was just talking about Liesl because she was talking about what she did and how she set up that meeting and stuff like that. Trina does not take Kai back. She not supposed to take him back. I don't know, y'all. I want to see how she gonna react when she finds out what Portia did. If she actually even gonna tell her the truth. But yeah, Anna was saying it's better to be a friend of Liesl than an enemy. Drew tells Molly. Molly went sit down. She wanted to talk to Drew about Scout, and she had concerns for her and stuff like that. So he was like, it would have been better if you was the one who initiated this whole meeting or whatever. But now it's too late because of Alexis and everything. Talking about it's best for Scout to move to DC away from Alexis as well as her aunties or whatever. And I want to know if that's what's going to lead to Michael punching Drew, or is it going to be something else? Excuse me. Or is it going to be something else? What else? Is that the last thing? I had wrote down the question. Is that Michael punching Drew? I want to say about time, but he like to have people arrested, so this may be a trap. It may very well be a trap. Excuse me. Because they did say on the spoiler that Drew's supposed to manipulate Michael. And I was like, he like to have people arrested. Then I think it was some people in the background too. I was like, you going to jail. You just walked into his trap. Now, we'll wait to see tomorrow how everything plays out. But I think that's everything, y'all. Let me know your thoughts down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day and be safe.